transcend your life, Senpai. Today we're going to talk about the one thing that stops and paralyzes you from becoming your highest self or the best version of you. Fear. When we talk about fear, we're going to talk about the two main kinds of fear that prevents you from moving on. Your fear of succeeding and the fear of failure. Now, when we talk about the fear of failure, it's very simply broken down. Think about a time when you're doing something new for the first time, or you're under a lot of pressure and you don't want to mess up. When you're fearful of failing, you don't want to make it so that your end result is not the desired outcome. And what is the desired outcome? Is to do it perfectly, in a sense. You want to do it in the right way. And typically what tends to happen is we tend to think of fearful of that specific task at hand, or doing what we are doing, or to attempt something new in life, because in our past experiences we've had the experience of doing something new and it has gone terribly wrong, or it has epically failed in a way that's put shame to us, embarrassment, all these negative emotions onto us that we're latching onto and can't let go of. And so when we can't let go of these negative emotions, we tend to think to ourselves, man, if I'm gonna mess up again, I don't want to feel like that ever again. And so we're fearful of failure because of these negative emotions that are latching onto us that we can't let go of. So, how do we overcome this fearful of failure? Well, to break it down simply, you can do two things. But the main point is, I'm not going to teach you how to let go of these negative emotions. I'm going to tell you how you can think of it from a different perspective, so you can try to keep attempting at these new tasks and keep attempting at doing something you're scared of doing. So, how do you do that? You are going to look at every new circumstance or every new thing that you're attempting at doing that you're scared of doing as a new situation, as a new circumstance that you have the choice and decision to make. At every given point, you have the option of doing all of those options available, so that you don't have the same desired outcome as before previously, and all the other things that might have gone wrong. So when you train your mind to think that I can do this differently, or I can think that this is not going to end up the same way as it did before, because this is an entirely different situation. This is an entirely different way of me doing something new. This is something else entirely different. This is me right now, and that was me back then. Me right now is going to do something that's new. And when I'm doing something new, although it's new to me, I don't have to think that this is going to always fail. I can't be scared of doing something new if I'm thinking that it's always going to end up wrong. But how are you going to expect to do something new and grow and become the person that you want to be if you don't do something new? If you don't do the things that you want to do? If you don't attempt to do the things that you dreamed of doing, becoming the person you want to do? But you can't become that person if you don't do something different or do something new. Grow the skills that you need. Get to the person you want to become. And you need all those skills. You need all that skill set. You need to learn newer things in order to grow, in order to achieve newer things, in order to achieve new heights, in order to get to the dream life that you want. And so what we tend to do is, it's a routine, it's a habit. It's a habit of thinking the same thing over and over. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm going to fail again. I'm going to mess up. If you're going to mess up, why should we do it anyways? And so that's the typical mindset that we tell ourselves. If we're gonna mess up, why should we do it? Well, think about really why you want to get to the place you want to get to. Are your motivating factors important or not? Will you have regrets? Is that passion and burning desire to be that person and get to a certain place in your life, live the dream life that you want, is that enough? Or is that the thing that's driving you that's like, I really want to do it, but I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail, and so I don't want to do this. But are you going to regret not having to do this and still have that stream lingering in the back of your mind holding you back and telling yourself, oh, I'm going to beat myself up when I get turned to I'm 60, 70, 80 years old until you're bedbound and near the end of your life? What are you going to think to yourself? Did I get to do the things that I wanted to do? And so the fear of failure versus when you're at your last regrets or your burning desire to do this thing, or if it's something that's holding you back, you need to figure out what it is. Now, let's talk about the fear of success. It's funny how we're talking about fear of success, because how is that even a thing? How can you be fearful of succeeding? Well, it's very common actually. What do we call that? There's another term for it. It's called self-sabotaging. Self-sabotaging is a whole other concept that most people don't understand, is when you're so stuck in a routine and you're so comfortable, you don't want to leave your comfort zone. You don't want to break out of that routine, the habit, that day-to-day life that you've spent so many years doing over and over and over again, because it's so easy for you. It's so easy for you to keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's so hard for you to break out of it. And when you break out of it, your body and your mind's not going to like that. And your ego is going to tell yourself, oh, this is too hard. I don't want to do this because it's new. It's different. I don't like it because it's not the same thing that we're used to doing over and over again, and it's hard. It's not easy, like, because we've done that stuff before. This is new stuff to me. But when you do the new stuff and new things, that's how you learn to develop and grow and become that person, become the succeeding self that you wanted to become. When you see yourself succeed, do you see yourself as the person that you wanted to be, to achieve awards, achievements, whether it be an athlete, singer, artist, author, content creator, all of these things? Did you want to be something greater than what you are right now? Are you holding yourself back because you don't want to get out of this usual comfort zone that you're in, this routine and habit that you're doing, whether it be flicking on Netflix or turning on the TV, play video games for a couple minutes to an hour, watch it turn into a couple hours? But is it something that's holding you back from doing the things that you've been wanting to do? See, those time, even though is enjoyable for you right now, it's easy to do because we're training to ourselves to do it over and over again. And when we do it over and over again, it's easy to do and it's comfortable. It makes us feel good inside because it's something for ourselves to do, right? But doing those things is not going to help you grow or do something different to help you succeed to your higher self, your best self, the person that you wanted to become, whether it be like a high achieving, high functional speaker, or an author, or an artist, musician, or a typewriter, copywriter, web designer, videographer, photographer, all these things. Paraglider, skydiver. Let your hobbies and creativity take over. What are the things that make you put a smile on your face? What are the skills that you want to learn? What are the things that makes you happy? Let that be the driving force, the passion and burning desire to let the fire ignite inside you. And so, to get over the fear of successes, again, do you want to regret not having to do this when you're later on in your life? When you're on your deathbed? When you're thinking about, man, if only I had done this in my 20s, 30s, or 40s. And even if it's just 5, 10, 20 minutes a day, that's one episode on Netflix, or, whether it be a couple videos on YouTube, you can easily cut that off. Or spending a couple minutes to 10 pages a day on a book can easily lead you to new insights, knowledge that you can be gaining on a day-to-day basis. And that's little increments a day. But if you do consistently build a habit, that comes a long way, because now you've developed this new routine in order to grow. And so when we're fearful of succeeding, what we're really fearful of, we're fearful of changing our current lives because it's easy and comfortable. We're fearful of not being able to do, or not wanting to do, something that's different. When you do something that's different, it's hard because you're using your mind again. When we get older and we become adults, as we start working in life, we don't want to tend to do something that's new because we're so exhausted. We're so used to having to do something that's routine. And so when you do something that's routine, we just want to rest from a hard day at work. And when you just want to rest, you're not doing the things that's different in order to get to the place that you want to become. Especially if you're working at a 9-to-5 job that you hate all the rest of your life, how can you expect to get to a life that you want to live when you keep doing the same thing over and over again? It's that concept of hopeful that something will change when you're not doing anything in order to change your life. The concept of allowing something to not be there when you're not doing that thing in order to be there. Like this video if you resonate with you. Please subscribe.